I'm Congressman Steve King, representing Iowa's 4th Congressional District, and we come to you today on a very, very sad day in the aftermath of the brutal assassination of 5 police officers in Dallas, Texas last night, 7 others that were shot, 1 or 2 civilians who also received some injuries. This is a tragic, tragic day, and it hits home for all of us. For me, I grew up in a law enforcement family. And my father was a manager of state police radio stations in several locations around Iowa. The adult men around me wore police uniforms, whether they were city police, whether they were county sheriff's office, or whether they were Iowa Highway Patrol. And I just expected that adults wore uniforms to work as a little boy growing up. I learned about the rule of law. I learned about that fidelity between all law enforcement officers that was tied together, whatever branch you might be representing, and about the defense of the rule of law, and about the obligation, the duty, the oath to protect and serve that goes with all of our officers. And they were in Dallas last night protecting and serving the people of Dallas when there was a relatively peaceful demonstration going on. I understand about 1,000 people. And when that demonstration reached a certain point, shots rang out, and 5 officers dead, another 7 of them fallen. It is the most tragic day I remember in the history of this country, of a direct attack on our law enforcement officers in this country. And some of it comes from the climate in this country, the culture that's been exacerbated in this country, things that flow from Officer Crowley, that flow from situations that unfolded in Florida, in Baltimore, in Ferguson, Missouri, comments that are made by leaders in this country, the debate in the United States Congress over the last couple of weeks, and that seems to be toned down now. This has shocked us back to a reality, and that reality is there's evil in the world. And that evil in the world deploys itself sometimes at the slightest inspiration, or maybe even no inspiration. We're going to learn more about this perpetrator or perpetrators, but we know that at this point that he has taken a racist position multiple times, and he said straight out, as announced by the chief of police in Dallas, that he wanted to kill cops and he wanted to kill white people. He also said he had bombs. That turns out, at this point at least, not to be true. I want to say some kind words and some appreciative words about the leadership that's been demonstrated by the mayor of Dallas, who is conducting or now is holding a prayer vigil in Dallas as we speak, and about the chief of police, who in the press conference this morning, both of them spoke in a principled way, a conciliatory way, a faithful way, and in a way that calms this country. I think a lot of both of them. They spoke very highly of the officers. They spoke of what I also saw as I watched this unfold in real time last night, and that was officers in blue, running to the sound of the guns, putting themselves in between the line of fire and the citizens in Dallas that were peacefully demonstrating. That's why I'm wearing this emblem today. This is a police emblem here on my tie to express my appreciation for the courage, the nobility, the service all across this country of our law enforcement officer. I stand with the men and women in blue, and America needs to stand with the men and women in blue this day and every day. Without them, we do not have the rule of law. Without them, we do not have civilization. Without them, anarchy prevails. We've got to shut down this anarchy. We've got to restore the rule of law. We've got to keep the officers in our prayers, that those who have lost their lives, their families, their loved ones, all of those that are hurting now, but let's stand behind them because they need to have the courage to establish peace and order in this society. And I would call upon all the leaders in this country to express a supportive sentiment towards all of our law enforcement officers. We are faced with an urban warfare today that's stimulated by a hatred that was unnecessary, and that needs to be dissipated, and we need to have leadership help lead us out of this. Meanwhile, God bless all of them. May their souls rest in peace. May their families have the comfort of knowing that they had heroes among them, and there are still heroes among them that are protecting the peace and security in every city in this country and across the country, across the rural areas as well. And so I'm going to watch this and monitor this. I'm going to continue to keep them all in my prayers as well, and I ask you to do the same.